Live at 5. This is SNN, the Suncoast News Network, your local news leader.
Hello everyone, I'm Eric Wilson, once again filling in for Don Brennan. Thanks for joining us here on the SNN Evening Edition. An investigation is underway after 2 flights were cleared for takeoff and landing on the same runway at the same time. SNN's Brianna Boskert details the near miss at Sarasota-Bradenton International Airport.
The Federal Aviation Administration estimates the 2 planes were about 3,000 feet apart when American flight crew stopped their landing. To put that in perspective, that's about the distance of me to the airport building, which is just over half a mile. Officials are now investigating this very close call. The FAA told SNN an air traffic controller at SRQ Airport cleared an Air Canada flight for takeoff on runway 14 after clearing an American Airlines flight to land on the same runway. On Flight Aware, you can see the American flight crew stop their landing and loop around just before the Air Canada flight takes off. The National Transportation Safety Board said they are investigating the February 16th incident in a statement via Twitter. In a separate tweet Monday evening, the NTSB said the American Airlines crew self-initiated a go-around. Tuesday morning, the FAA tells SNN after the controller advised the American flight crew that Air Canada was departing, the American flight crew discontinued their landing. News of the incident follows a string of other near misses in the U.S. involving several airlines at different airports. 2 weeks before this near-miss incident, a FedEx Boeing almost landed on top of a Southwest Boeing in Austin. Then, on February 27th, 11 days after the SRQ incident, the FAA details a close call in Boston involving a commercial jet flight and a private plane. At this time, it is unclear if it was the air traffic controller or American flight crew who stopped the close call, but it is safe to say everyone involved is extremely relieved no one was hurt. The NTSB says no injuries or damages have been reported. Reporting at SRQ Airport, Brianna Boskert, SNN, the Suncoast News Network.
All right, well, a preliminary report of the investigation is expected in 2 to 3 weeks. The latest fatal accident involving a major U.S. airline in this country was 14 years ago. Now, Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis delivered a State of the State speech Tuesday in Tallahassee to a joint session of Florida legislatures, laying out his top priorities for a second term and a potential platform for a 2024 presidential run.
Don't worry about the chattering class. Ignore all the background noise. Keep the compass set to true north. We will stand strong. We will hold the line. We won't back down. And I can promise you this, you ain't seen nothing yet. Thank you all.
In his speech Tuesday, DeSantis focused prominently on his lean into culture war issues related to education and transgender people. Our schools must deliver a good, educational, not political indoctrination. He added that our children are not guinea pigs for science experimentation, and we cannot allow people to make money off mutilating them. Well, daylight savings time is around the corner, and at least one Florida congressman thinks that times change should be here to stay. SNN's Sydney Rell has the details.
If passed, the Sunshine Protection Act would put an end to the twice-a-year clock change and make daylight saving time permanent. Congressman Vern Buchanan says springing forward on permanent daylight saving time would benefit Florida in more ways than one.
It reduces car crashes, energy usage does cut that somewhat, and I was kind of surprising to hear 27% cut in robberies.
An extra hour of light at the end of the day could help tackle obesity and diabetes by allowing Americans to explore the outdoors while reducing stress, blood pressure, and the risks of heart disease and stroke.
With Florida being such a popular tourist state, many business owners believe this change is needed.
I just think overall it's just a positive. I think it should have been done a long time ago. It's something that's really needed. Right now, especially with, all the northerners that are down here now, it's season. So I think it's a plus for everybody, including every business that's around here. We all would like to see more people out during daylight.
As of now, 19 states have signed off and the Senate has approved of the measure. In Lakewood Ranch, I'm Sydney Rell, SNN, the Suncoast News Network.
Now, Buchanan says he hopes to have the bill passed in the next 6 months before we have to fall back. Congressman Greg Steube shook hands this morning with Sarasota County fire personnel who responded to his accident. Paramedic Chris Matthews, EMT Mark Parisi, Lieutenant Firefighter Miguel Phoenix, and Paramedic Dave Simmons received a Congressional Certificate of Appreciation. Congressman Stubbe fell 25 feet on his property in East Sarasota County back in January. First responders were there within minutes. The team of 4 quickly transported Congressman Stubbe to Sarasota Memorial Hospital's Trauma Center. The congressman is off his crutches, but still does not remember what happened. This morning, he had to fill in the blanks.
I had a concussion on the front part of my head. I tore the ligaments in my neck. I had a concussion puncture of the lung on the left side, and then I cracked my pelvis on the right side. So to be able to hear from them, like, what was going on, what was I saying, what was I doing, because I was conscious during the entire time. I just don't remember the event. So it was nice to get some clarity on what actually happened when they got there.
The congressman will be back in Washington March 22nd. He is waiting for his doctor to clear him to fly. Now, the town of Crestline and other parts of California are still crippled 2 weeks after a blizzard dropped feet of snow. Forecasters say up to several more feet will pile up through midweek, followed by potential flood concerns. NBC's Dana Griffin has the latest from Crestline.
We are in Crestline again today, where residents are expressing frustrations with the way local government has responded to this crisis here of snow impacting so many residents. Several still remain snowed in, and their concern is for people up in the higher elevations. County crews have said that they have plowed about 100% of the primary roads, but the tough part is those secondary back roads. Only about 50% have been plowed, according to officials. And we've even driven on those roads. It is very tough to try to navigate, especially when you see so much snow has piled up on both sides of the road, and the streets are already pretty narrow. So it's really tricky. And even officials say, you know, this is a very laborious effort to try to reach people that are stuck in the higher elevations. You know, the grocery store that caved in here in Crestline, the only grocery store for this community. We spoke with the store owner earlier this morning, and he tells me that it sounds like the store is possibly structurally sound, at least the outside walls, but it could take 12 months for them to get that store back up and running, which means that the impacts from these rounds of storms are going to last even as the snow melts. Back to you.
That was NBC's Dana Griffin reporting from Crestline, California. Now, spring breakers will be descending on Florida beaches soon, but this year they may be greeted with hundreds of dead fish. Red tide continues to worsen, impacting beaches all along Florida's Gulf Coast, from the Tampa Bay area to Sarasota and Pinellas County. The harmful algae bloom that grows in the sea can produce toxic effects to fish and can even make the surrounding air difficult to breathe. At Sarasota's Lido Beach, dead fish are littering the areas far as the eye can see. And for tourists and businesses alike, the fish kills cannot be coming at a worse time. With spring break being one of the busiest times of year, crews are beginning the daunting task of cleaning up miles of shoreland. But many vacationers to the area are packing up and leaving. Now, Manatee County deputies need your help identifying a man they believe was involved in a shooting. MCSO posted photos to a person they believe is involved in a February 25th shooting at 1:50 a.m. The incident under investigation took place in the parking lot of the Paddy Wagon Irish Pub located at 5320 45th Street East in Bradenton. The suspect is described as a man with a stocky build, medium length, brown hair, a beard, and glasses. Deputies say the man fired multiple rounds into the air and fled in a silver Chevy Equinox. If you recognize him or have any information on the case, please contact the Manatee County Sheriff's Office at 941-747-3011. The West Coast Black Theater Troupe announced their upcoming season last night. The WBTT theme for their upcoming season is Simply the Best. The season's lineup is a combination of audience-requested shows from the past and the best of Broadway.
Most amazing supporters and donors. They love us and are so excited about our place in the community, our uniqueness in the community. You know, we're the only African American theater company on the whole west coast of Florida, and people really appreciate it.
Now, tickets go on sale during the summer. For more information on each show, you can check back to our website. Well, spring break is one of the biggest and most popular travel seasons of the year, and hotspot destinations like Florida are bracing for a crush of visitors between now and mid-April. And this year's cities like Miami Beach, Fort Lauderdale say they're ready to make sure the parties and surge of spring breakers don't get out of hand. Sam Brock is in Cocoa Beach, Florida.
In Miami Beach, the calm before the spring break storm.
I wanted to catch it before spring break so I could just have a nice quiet time.
Florida is the nation's top spring break destination this year, according to AAA, thanks to the Sunshine State's theme parks, cruise ship ports, and over 800 miles of coastline.
This is the place to be. Everyone comes down here to party, to relax, to experience the beach and stuff.
But with that popularity comes some challenges. Miami Beach Mayor Dan Gelber wants visitors to enjoy the vacation haven, but avoid a repeat of the past 2 years.
What is the curfew right now?
We don't have a curfew.
But that could change.
It could change if circumstances require us to do something to keep people safe.
In 2022, local officials forced to declare a state of emergency, including a midnight curfew, after unruly behavior and several shootings plagued the city during spring break.
Don't come here and do stupid things or criminal things, because it's going to be bad for you and bad for us.
Just a 30-minute train ride away in Fort Lauderdale.
We don't know. Spring break, it's going to be crazy.
Authorities reminding spring breakers alcohol is banned from public beaches through April 2nd, along with coolers, tents, and loud music.
Unfortunately, this time of year, we see a lot of injuries that are alcohol related.
At the nation's airports, the TSA is anticipating an upward trend in travel volume this spring break, possibly exceeding pre-pandemic levels. Tampa's airport expecting a record number of travelers.
I like to refer to spring break as the Super Bowl for the airport.
In the Orlando area, officials expect more than 7 million to fly in and out over that time frame. In Cocoa Beach, it's already lively on an early March Monday.
Just in terms of the economic vitality of this particular city, though, how important is spring break?
Very important. It's one of the busiest times of the year for Cocoa Beach.
Spring breakers dreaming of sunshine, being urged to pack some common sense.
All right, well, coming up on the evening edition of SNN, Uber has a new feature for more than 30 airports around the world. Stay right here.